my gosh, you guys, thank you so much for almost 100 subscribers. That was crazy. I went from 13 to 98. That's insane. Thank you guys. That's crazy. Anyway, today we are going to go to Japan and we're going to be talking about something that is quite similar to my personality. So we are going to be talking about the Yakuza. JK, I'm not gangster. We're going to be talking about Hikikomoris. I am using a spoon today for my mic just because I realized that it was hitting my shirt a lot. I move a lot. So I thought maybe this will help it not be hit so much and it'll help me with editing. Hopefully it works. So, what is a hikikomori? A hikikomori is a form of social isolation and withdrawal. It typically lasts 6 months, where an individual is avoiding school, work, any social interactions or relationships with people. The term was first coined in 1998 by psychiatrist Tamaki Saito. Being a hikikomori can happen anywhere in the world, but it is very prevalent in Japan, with almost 1.5 million people living there being classified as hikikomori. So here's a list of what trained clinicians evaluate for when they are trying to figure out if you are a hikikomori or not. Number one, spending most of the day and nearly every day confined to the home. Number two, marked and persistent avoidance of social situations and social relationships. Three, social withdrawal symptoms causing significant functional impairment. 4. Duration exceeding 6 months. 5. No apparent physical or mental etiology to account for the social withdrawal symptoms. There are a couple hikikomori influencers that I could plug you guys in on. The first one would be Saikyo Chan. She is a very tragic story. She was abandoned when she was, I believe, 16 years old, which led to her reclusive lifestyle. She documents herself living in extreme filth, cooking expired food, and interacting with cockroaches. She calls them her friends. There's even a rap song written about her. It's called Saikyo Chan, and it was released on April 15th, 2025 by two Shaynez. The second influencer that I can tell you about is named Haritso. He is an Indonesian TikToker. He's very popular and he's based in Japan. He makes really gross cooking videos. He uses rotting food and like moldy rice. And sometimes there's even worms in what he's cooking. I find it absolutely gross, but people do say that his content is staged. I really hope so because I don't think that anybody should be eating what he's cooking. It's super gross. Then there are the cases of mislabeled hikikomori, and I do want to talk about that. There's two that I really want to clarify. They're known as hikikomoris, but I don't believe that they are based on what I've read about hikikomoris. The first one I want to clarify is Emily Dickinson. Emily Dickinson is an American poet. She's written over 1,800 poems in her time, but they weren't discovered until after she died. She was very reclusive. She didn't let anybody in her home and she didn't like speak to anybody outside of the home except for through letters. People say that she's a hikikomori because of how secluded she is. She's actually often cited as a historical hikikomori, but I don't believe that she is because hikikomoris don't really participate in relationships. And Emily Dickinson did. She had a lot of very meaningful relationship that she corresponded with through letters. It's also believed that she was making an artistic choice to seclude herself, or at least that's what scholars believe. Then there is the Akihabara mass murderer. Tomohiro Kato was considered a hikikomori mass murderer, but it said that he was working up until 3 days before the mass murder. If you guys don't know about it, he took a rental truck and he drove it into a crowd of people, killing three. Yes, he was very lonely, and he did say that if he had a girlfriend, he wouldn't have quit his job and this wouldn't have happened. But I don't believe that he was a hikikomori. I believe he was just an incel. He was working. To be a hikikomori, you're somebody who avoids work. So I don't believe that he's classified as one. So how did this happen? It started gaining traction in the 1990s when Japan's economic growth was booming and women started getting equal opportunity on the workforce. I'm sorry that I'm laughing. It's just crazy to me that women becoming equal is the reason why men started shutting themselves away. Because of more competition in the workplace, men started disengaging from society. So back in the 90s, it was mostly men who were hikikomori, but nowadays, 40% of hikikomoris are women. And that is because of societal expectation to become mothers, to become wives, and it is becoming harder to meet those. For some reason, it feels like it's an East Asian problem. Women are having a harder time getting married in East Asia. Women are also facing incredibly high beauty standards. Because of this, a lot of them shut themselves away thinking that they're ugly. I know that that sounds dramatic, but in Japan, beauty really does mean something. It really is important there. In all of East Asia, this is actually probably the case. However, what men and women hikikomori do have in common is the struggle to fit in, fueled by Japan's social pressures and work cultures. The Japanese work culture is known as one of the intense work cultures in the world. It really emphasizes loyalty, long hours, perfectionism. They even have obligatory overtime because Japan's work culture is so high stress. People often suffer from severe overworking issues or karoshi, which means overwork death. And even though Japan's work culture doesn't sound very enticing, it is very competitive. And a lot of people struggle to find jobs, which honestly I don't think is a problem. If it's either hikikomori or karoshi, I choose hikikomori. All in all, no matter the reason, hikikomoris have a strong sense that they don't belong, so they just choose to shut themselves away and not participate in the world. I do want to conclude this video with treatments on how to overcome a hikikomori lifestyle, if that's something that you want to do. But before I do that, I want to give my opinions on it. Society sucks. People suck. I understand why you guys want to lock yourselves away. If I did not live in such a capitalistic society that requires me to get up every day and do things, I would be a hikikomori. I would choose that lifestyle. I think Emily Dickinson had it right when she decided to stay away from people. Maybe I wouldn't completely shut myself off. I do have some important people in my life that I want to keep in contact with, but hey, living your whole life in a room sounds fantastic. I mean, I kind of already do that. I own a 4-bedroom house and I spend most of my days in the tiniest room in the house, which is my office. I feel like I have those tendencies and I think that I understand you guys. So, who am I to say that what you're doing is wrong? I do want to say that if you are not happy, if you are feeling depressed, then maybe it's not the lifestyle for you. Maybe it is something that you should try to overcome. But if it's something that you feel happy in doing, I don't have the answers to life. Who knows? Maybe being alone is the answer to life. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Treatments. You guys want to know treatments. I'm not a hikikomori. nor am I a Hikikomori that has overcome it. So these treatments I just found online. First one is psychotherapy, so CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. This helps reframe negative thoughts, while psychoanalysis addresses the psychological cause of isolation. The next one is family counseling. This is critical for educating families on enabling behaviors. It improves communication and reduces the stress that keeps the individual isolated. Then there's gradual reintegration, starting with small steps like leaving the room, visiting a community center, or participating in rental sister and brother program. You could also visit the Akihabara Electric Town. Then there's physical and alternative therapy. So this could be regular exercise, which has been shown to improve cerebral blood flow and reduce anxiety. Other methods include animal therapy and digital slash remote therapy. Then there's the medical approach, which is the approach that I take. I have anxiety as well, my hikikomori friends. Psychiatrists may prescribe you medications to treat co occurring conditions like severe social anxiety or depression. Mine is anxiety and depression, so one in the same, you and I. So that's the end of our video for today. Are you still watching? I hope you are. If you are, I do want to thank you for making it all the way till the end. I know that I don't have the most exciting voice. People have told me that it's pretty monotone, but hopefully I'm getting better. If you guys have any suggestions on how to improve my videos, please write them down on the comments below. I do always appreciate feedback, especially when it is something that will help my videos improve. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me in another video. I hope to see you guys next time. The next video will be a reaction video. Stay tuned for that. I am going to explore more music in Asia. Thank you. Goodbye.